Hello, hello, and good morning. Wow, this is a full-packed room and awesome. I'm more than happy to welcome you all here. My name is Mark. I'm a consulting engineer here in the US, and I'm very happy to welcome my colleague, Mischa van der Bent, here to present. And I'm forgetting your session title. It's about the onboarding experience, build the best onboarding experience. And hopefully you can build a better onboarding experience than my welcome, Mischa. But everyone give Mischa a warm welcome.
Well, Mark, I also forgot my title, sorry. I had other things to do. Oh, well, what a turnout. Welcome, welcome. Nice to see you all. Is my clicker working? It is. You have 5 minutes. No. Yeah, here's the title, Build the Best Onboarding Experience. I try to explain how I see it, and hopefully you can have some takeaways with it. But first of all, my name is Mischa van der Bent. I'm managing a crazy group of people. The majority are in the back there, so if you have questions, you literally can go to them. But I work in EMEA. And we work with a lot of customers, of course, and we're heavily focusing on making them successful. A small overview of the agenda. First impression matters, come to that. Enrollment workflows, deployment strategies, and guidance. And I think it really matters, right? If you have the best experience on starting your job, you have the best experience starting at the company. And we as IT have a role in that. So we want to build the trust between the IT and the end user and make it the best opportunity to give them to the first initial contact with the company. And we play a very important role in that. But before we do that, I want to go over to the enrollment workflows. And I think I can talk for everybody in the room here. This is what we want. And if you don't agree, do a hands up, please. So if I think about it, and I know the system I'm going to show you here is the new Tahoe, but the classical experience when I started my IT role was literally like this. Wow, the applications are there. No experience, no feedback, no interaction. Yes, I can work, but we were not transparent. And I know there's a lot of tools out there I'm going to tell you in a bit, but this is literally what Apple provides us in basic, right? Enrollment, go to the desktop, and then we can install all the applications. I want to be very, very transparent to the end users, telling them what we are doing. At Jamf, we also have a native experience with the macOS Onboarder, where we also tell the user already what we are doing. That's better, right? Click. So it's built in by Jamf. It's great visibility already, and it's simple to implement, right? And it's also launched after the user login. And that's very important. I will come back to that in a bit. And like I said, I think your guys are doing this already, but with other tools like Notify, Octory, Swift Dialog with Dan Snelson's Set Up Your Mac, awesome script, and Baseline. And talking about tools, my team, the guys behind there, they're crazy, but they make awesome utilities. And if you want to use them utilities, they literally build utilities for you guys. And Jamf Concept is a way for us to give them to you. So if you don't know about this website, please go to this website and make sure that you see the tools. You see a lot of things already there that you know of, but here's a point where we can help you guys with our tools. Now let's talk about deployment strategies. I think everybody knows this one, right? Who is not using zero-touch enrollment? There are still some. Good to see. But to get everybody on the same page, what is it? We drop shift the device to the end user unwrap the box, open it, and set it up there by themselves. Is it zero touch? It's zero touch by IT, right? No IT involvement, we automate everything. That is what Apple wants to see. Do we know single touch? Or better yet, IT-driven enrollments, because I think we still need to deal with them, right? And I can make a slide here, is imaging dead? Yes, it is, we don't have imaging anymore. So, and to get everybody on the same page, what is it? Well, the device goes to IT first, the IT will prepare the device, box it again, and ship it to the end user, and the end user can immediately start it. So I see that as a single touch, so IT touched the device. Why? Well, sometimes time consuming. Our workflows is large. We have a lot of software to install. Not gonna name dump here, but in graphical industry, with a lot of applications, 20 or 40 gigabytes, it's not useful, not a good experience. Or simply we have a white glove treatment for our VIPs. Our security wants tools on the device before the user can touch the device. Also a very valid point. And I can tell you, if I ask one of you, can I get your email address or your password because I want to set up your device? That's a no-go. Identity is very important. We need to protect them. To have a summary, so I see we have two things, zero touch and single touch. So end user can roll the machines out self, and single touch is literally IT driven. Now let's look at another thing, the deployment order. I think with an automated device enrollment, it's very important to understand what a deployment order is and what it can bring to us. I think we're all familiar with ADE because I only got 3 or 4 that doesn't use zero-touch enrollment. We get into the setup assistant, connect to the Wi-Fi, your network, you get your management framework, you click a couple of setup assistant panes, and then you go to the user creation. It's a user interaction, right? So the user gets created. And after that, you come to the desktop. What we do, there's the transparency, what we are going to do. And even worse, we're going to lock the device. That's kind of crazy because if you look at the iPhone experience, you literally can use your iPhone directly after enrollment, right? We see the applications loading, but you can use it. That's also the thing what the end user wants. Now, our team was looking at this process, and we have some challenges with the imaging is dead. We still want to have a single touch deployment. That's why we created Setup Manager. And I will bring it back to where we were and where we thought we needed to be. So we thought, like, what if we can put the application installation right after management? And then the end user can still do the setup, and yes, there will still be a user creation in the end. And if they land on the desktop, boom, they can work. Maybe small pieces that needs to install, because remember, one thing is very important. In the beginning, it's machine space, and on the right is user space. So here's a demo of what we created with Setup Manager. We all know this pane. This is going to be management landing in, and here's Setup Manager. We tell the end user what we are doing. Very clear in the setup assistant. And like you can see, we are installing we set the time zone, we install Google. We have network information, also network speed. What is the speed time? This is very useful for me. I'm getting older, I'm a grandpa. I never can read the serial number. I don't know if you guys can, because the serial number is like a thing. Very hard to read. Anyways, very helpful because we don't need a serial number, because in the about is also the Jamf ID. Very useful for support. And we all know that things we're going to land up in the desktop. This is just a user creation. And then if you're on the desktop, you got your desktop, right? So this Setup Manager. Very well received, by the way. We got a lot of users, also in very different verticals, education space. Very cool to see. Like I said, it's very modern. We keep it very simple to Apple-like, so trustworthy. It's easy to configure. I'll come back on that in a bit. And the deployment methods are very simple. You can make it very complex, but I don't like complex. You need to support your end users, not yourself. And it's available for Jamf Pro and Jamf School. Now, like I said, the benefits are streamlined deployment. You can customize it. It's simple management. I think that's very important. And yeah, you have some service opportunities as well, if you think about it, because this workflow can be the zero-touch one, but it can also be the IT one, and I will show you that in a bit. So I come from EMEA, so we got languages, so we make sure that it's going to be multiple languages support. But even then, if you have a language is missing, you can provide it to us, so we can implement it, or you just use a customization profile for that. So what do you need? Let's go over it step by step. It's just a package you can download. Like I said, you can upload this one into Jamf Pro or Jamf School. We need a test computer. Sorry, but we cannot test ADE workflows with a VM. Bummer. But it doesn't mean you cannot work with VMs to test your devices, but in this scenario, hardware is needed. You need to make sure in the pre-stage there's the configuration profile, and Jamf Connect is an optional one. So where do I get the Setup Manager? Well, if you go to the concepts, there's Setup Manager, and it brings you to this page. If you're not familiar with Git, you don't need to download the whole thing, but on the right side, there's the last released. And if you've done that, you can upload it into your Jamf Pro environment. Some keys what we can do in the configuration profile. Customization. We love branding, right? And in this scenario, we have the title, we can do the banner, we can do an icon, we can do the messaging, we can do even a full background. So you can even have a wallpaper binder, and you can literally customize to your whole company rules. We have enrollment actions where we can do policies. We have installer meter implemented. We have a wait path. We have user input. Very nice things. So the user entry. We also have a waiting state. So if you want to assign a user in a later phase, then the user gets extra software. It's also supported. And we got a final action. So what do you want to do after the setup is done? So you can launch a script. Very handy thing to do is a debug mode, because before we're gonna enroll it, you want to test it and see how it looks like for the end user, right? So you want to test. What's also is very helpful, what we build in, is this. We added a logging. So if you're in this setup manager, Command L, and you get this logging prompt. This is an event timeline. So from order, from top to bottom, is like when it in order when it happens. So it's easy to troubleshoot. Very easy to troubleshoot is like you will find out installation order wrongs. Setup Manager is calling policies, but you forgot about some triggers, or enrollment complete is still enabled. So you can troubleshoot yourself. But also, hey, why did my network drop? Why did I do a network change here? So you can also troubleshoot yourself. So very handy if you want to implement Setup Manager. And we also, in the latest release, we use the unified system log, so you can also send this log later to a SIEM if you want. It's already being stored on the device. Now, for the configuration, like I said, it is quite simple. It's just an XML. But if you're not familiar with XML, we have a JSON file with the Jamf applications. We literally can use our UI to set it up. And if you're not used to that, we still got somebody from the community who built it in iAmazing Profile. So there are tools out there to help you to set it up. But in basic, it's quite simple. It's just an XML file. And I think the majority will know what it means. Like I said before, you have some configurations keys, and you can set up your own path to deploy it. When you've done that, simply scope the configuration profile and make sure that it's also added in the pre-stage, because we need it on time. and then you can test. And then follow the steps. And there's no step 3, right? The famous, there's no step 3, but I'll come back on that. What you just saw in the video was the zero-touch enrollment. And now I want to show you the single-touch enrollment. And in this scenario, I am the IT, and I'm gonna enroll a device for Armin. So I'm just logging in, like a normal person can do. But in this scenario, the Jamf Pro server recognized, hey, this is Mischa, he's from IT. So he got a different configuration profile. And a configuration profile as the user entry. So here I need to assign the user to Armin. And there's also a check if I'm a human, I get fat fingers, I can make typos, but I get checked on that. There's also a way to do asset tags, buildings, and all the stuff what you want in their departments. Here you can see the new view is the Tahoe ready, nice glass interface, network information, we can do a banner, and also for the icons we looked at the new music application, so the colors from the icons will be picked up for the background colors. It's all optimizable, like you can customize it to your defaults, but you also can make it pretty like this, whatever your needs are. And this is a single touch enrollment. Very useful because what happens now, I give it to Armin, and Armin can only unlock it because he's identifying it to the identity provider, saying like, hey, this is my password, and the user gets created. Nothing to do with me anymore here. My job was already done. So when Armin's account got created, self-service got opened, and you can see it, single sign-on extension is already available for him to use. So for Armin's experience, he's just logged in. That's kind of cool. I got additional information here, good to know. If you want to do advanced enrollments, make sure that the setup manager runs during a login window, so he doesn't interrupt that process. And the downside with auto advanced enrollments, you have to be patient and don't touch the keyboard. Yeah, the setup assistant has all the panes. For setup manager to work, you have only need one to show. And we suggest always the location services because I want to be very transparent that the location services is not for IT to track the end users, it's for the end users to use location-based applications. And disable, of course, enrollment complete triggers because that will mess up your deployment. We don't need them. That's beneficial because you have more control over your deployment. And where do we see this? Well, like I said before, white glove treatment is VIP deployment. We see them a lot, this setup manager workflows. Regulated industries, very highly secured, and education. And Darlo did a lot of things on the education space to make setup manager a perfect fit for there. And we really love seeing that in the main keynote as well, and also in the Education State of the Union. Some highlights from the latest releases. So like I said, we have improved logging, making you easier to troubleshoot. I can tell you we are working on visualizing how we can show what configuration profiles get installed on the device. Network connections, so if the network connection drops, you get an error. This also counts for the battery. We also added some localizations. That's also heavily community driven as well. That's kind of cool to see. And we, of course, every release has some fixes. And what you just saw was a sneak peek. Yeah, we're like liquid glass UI enabled. That's a challenge, was that. Not so easy how Apple supposed to be, but luckily we are very default to Apple UI, so we could easily go forward with that. And yeah, very good. Oh, and the network check, we can disable that because sometimes with the network check, you lower down the speed, and in some scenarios you don't want it. I think this Wi-Fi, for example, not good for the network check because, yeah, Wi-Fi. Now, this is a nice thing what we tested because with Tahoe, what comes now? Oh, ships, platform SSO. I just want to highlight here that we are compatible. and I'm going to show it, but Setup Manager loves Platform SSO. You saw in the beginning that I was setting it up for Armin. That was Jamf Connect. And I also understand that Jamf Connect is still here because for the user experience, Platform SSO is not a thing yet. It is a thing, but it's not, how do you say that? I wouldn't push it out because I want to support all our users with the same workflow. But if Platform SSO is a real thing for everything, then I would say buy Connect, we're going to use for Platform SSO, but I'm just going to say we love Platform SSO. And now for the setup experience. So this is the first part, it's just automation and deploying applications. So we end up in this. Well, I think many companies want to end up in this, right? And I think we briefly touched that branding is a thing. We want to have notifications. We want to share the user what we're doing. We want background items. But we have an issue, and that's called user approvals. There's the privacy space from Apple, so we cannot do everything from the end user. So our team is building on something else, and it's very nice. This is going to be a sneak peek for you all that we are very excited about. But it all starts with this one. I think it was the first thing you all disabled. Welcome, useless. We couldn't manage it. Well, we manage it now. So we can say like, hey, welcome to Jamf. We can customize it. So I kind of like how Apple is doing this, and we try to make it even better. So after this, continue. We go to the desktop, and you know what? Let's guide the users. Let's have a setup checklist. Is bare minimum for MVP, but we are trying to do what we can do for the end users. Provide them some wallpapers. Oh, at the company we do Edge, but that's a privacy thing from Apple, right? We cannot manage it anymore. So we check you're doing good things. Oh, and you want to have screen sharing. So we guide the users to enable that. That helps a lot of support tickets. And then you're done. And this is not the only thing. It is more what we have in petto. It's like changing wallpapers, default browser, default mail, guide to enable share screen sharing. We can also add introduction videos or open third parties or links, right? And we want more and more because this is just a sneak peek. Like I said, it's an MVP. There will be some beta programs running, and that's where we need your help. But this is coming soon. So, yeah. Thank you. The clicker is the thing here. No, but I want to say special thanks to a special group of people, including myself. I'm always on holiday. No, Armin Brigo is a legend, but Rob, you're out there, and Ant, you two are also legends. So give a big applause there. And this is not only group because the whole CE team globally is like working hard to make your life easier. So that's what we try to do anyways. That's why the Jamf concept page is there. Resume, quite simple. An application with a configuration profile. No need for scripting. You can download it there by the link. I hate QR codes because I don't want to be rickrolled. It is for Jamf Pro and Jamf School. And that's it. This is my best practice for enrollment. Straight to the point, I think. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mischa. I'm going to run around with the mic here. There's a lot of folks. I'm going to start kind of front to back, and we'll take some Q&A. Oh, you're even more front, but you're next.
So I've been using Setup Manager for a while, but I didn't realize you could add the user's name to it. How do you do that?
Use variables. Variables in Jamf, do you know that?
No.
No, okay. You can use variables from your how do you say that? Information. You can have
within the profile?
Preload data, right? You can use that, or in the profile you can enable that indeed.
Okay. I guess I skipped
Quite
right
simple.
over. All right, thank you.
No worries.
So I just want to emphasize how much time you spent on the transitions. They look very nice. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
One question. Why is this a concept? Why isn't this in Jamf Pro? It should be. It's better than the onboarder.
Well, thank you for that, by the way. Well, I think we are not developers. Consulting engineers are not developers. That's one for sure, right? We can do some things, and we're going to make it better. That's why Jamf concept is there. But if you look at the GitHub page, it's already moving towards the Jamf GitHub, and hopefully we're getting more out there. And yeah, I cannot tell anything here at the moment, but I wish it were somewhere else.
Who
yes.
should we pester? Like there's
Yeah.
hundreds of people.
Well, we can vote it up. No, yeah, no. It is a Jamf supported product, by the way. It is not an open source, free source thing. We heavily support it, but we didn't implement it in Jamf yet. We got other priorities, and I'm okay with that. So for me, it's literally like, yeah, it can be a checkbox by pre-stage, whatever, and it's going to be easier for you, but come on, it's just a package, you upload it, and be more in control of that. It's fine for now. Maybe later, Jordi, but thank you.
Yeah, with the single flow workflow, you showed that the IT staff had a different flow when they signed in to the MDM enrollment. Can you explain how that's triggered?
Sorry, do you have a question again?
In the single flow workflow,
Yeah?
the single touch, sorry, the IT staff signed in to the MDM and was presented a different workflow. Mm-hmm. Can you explain how that's triggered during that sign-in?
Oh, well, it's quite simple. If you log in, the thing is like, when I log in with my IT account, the account got assigned to the device. And the device is a member of IT, and I scope a configuration profile to the IT department. So if a normal user log in, they get a different configuration profile, they just don't see the user entry. Does that answer your question?
Follow-up question. So you talked about how when the IT user enrolls the device, they are then the enrolling user in the Jamf record.
Yes.
If you then do the single touch workflow and I say, oh, it actually belongs to Joe Smith, does it eventually update the enrolling user for the device to be Joe Smith? Or is the device always enrolled by the IT user?
I think you mix two things up, because the enrolled user is the user that gets created, and we're not creating a user here.
Sorry, I misspoke. Like when you authenticate with Jamf and via your IDP during enrollment,
Yes.
then you get your IT configuration profile.
Yes.
And then I'm typing in, oh, Jane is actually receiving this computer.
Yes.
I type in Jane's email.
Yes.
Does the computer record in Jamf get updated to make Jane the enrolling
Yes.
user?
So the trick of the trick of the whole thing is like, if I do user entry, and even if I walk away to get some coffee, the installation get done because it's Swift UI native, and then we're still waiting on the user entry. If we got the user filled in, we're gonna do a recon and assign the user to the device. Thank you.
And we have two mics, one in the front of the room, one in the back. We'll alternate, but I'll keep on going in the front.
Quick question. We've been using Set Up Your Mac, and one of the last policies we've run is to set up the dock, and it removes some of the stuff we don't want, adds some of the stuff that we do want, like the Office products and whatnot. With this being enrolled before you get to the desktop, obviously that policy hasn't really been triggering for us. We've been playing around with, having it run at enrollment complete, and sometimes that kind of triggers maybe 30 minutes later. Will that be something in the upcoming, the coming soon kind of section where they'll be able to kind of run our doc profile as soon as the end user actually logs in?
You're spot on, indeed. That's something what I want to. So the user space is the user space. Right. I don't want to be involved there. Sorry, that's literally personal space. I only need to do the core applications on the device, what I need to do my job in. But what you do with your device, with the wallpaper and everything, it's more a personal thing. The same counts for the dock, right? What we're trying to do with the setup checklist is like, hey, you have the company dock, the full dock or the slim dock, right? Only the core application, and even then you can remove them. Right. DocuTil is an awesome tool for that. I also did a talk a couple of years ago how you can do that. But remember one thing, when you're deploying it in the setup assistant, your machine space. If you want to influence the dock there, you can do that because we can influence the user templates. Then every new user can get that new dock. That's another workflow. There are some other mechanisms which you can do to do the initial first setup, but for simplifying before we get the new application, I use macOS Onboarder for that. So also the introduction to self-service, saying like, hey, you're now enrolled. We're gonna do maybe a 2-3 minutes user space thing, right? And then use macOS Onboarder for that because we go hand in hand. And then you end up in self-service. So also showing like, hey, here you can find all the IT stuff. So there are multiple ways to do it. But yes, in the checklist, I want to have the opportunity that you also can configure with a profile. I want to enable my dock.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Yeah, good.
Thank you. But I did have a question about how the secure token gets handled in that single touch workflow.
And that is the beauty about this one, because that was the biggest challenge what we had with an IT-driven enrollment, because everybody was juggling with enrollment users. We don't do anything with it. While we are doing with Setup Manager in the Setup Assistant, there's no user involved at all. The tokens will be handled when the user got creation by the Setup Assistant or Platform SSO or Jamf account, Jamf Connect, sorry. So we're not involved there at all. The biggest thing what you need to know here is Setup Manager is just a UI to show you what we're doing in the backend. Because in the backend it's just Jamf agent who does it all. That's it. So quite simple.
Hi, this looks great. Thank you for this. My question is around a more advanced workflow. So is it possible to, with a single touch deployment, have like a selector for departments, and like I'm just kind of wondering like what you can do with kind of a more advanced option, like whether there's more drop downs, more functionality that you can look at there.
I think we have that already. So the user input, there's not only asset tags or user assignment, but also departments and other things. There's a fourth one, I don't know. You can already do that. The user await state is also a thing like that. We got core applications and then we're gonna assign it to a user, and that user is from sales, and then I get extra applications. We have that already built in. But the only thing is like the transparency I don't like, because we're still working on how can we expose what is installed for that user for sales. But the workflows are there. That's already we're running. But I get what you mean, but we are working on getting that to the best state. So yeah, you can still do that.
Right, so I think what you're talking about is like, if you already can assume that somebody is in sales, we have the issue where this user may not be, you may not be able to look them up yet, right? And so
sorry to interrupt. What I meant is like by the user entry, you can also only select department, and you have a drop-down list. You say this device will be for, and then the music class, or this is going to be for the IT group or whatever. Okay. And then from there on, the department will be registered to the device, and then all the policies will fall down from the department.
Okay, and I assume it just pulls like the department list from Jamf, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, you have to put that into the configuration profile, because the one thing we don't do is API calls within our applications. We don't like that.
Okay, so there's no way to dynamically update the department list?
Not dynamically, you're in control of the configuration profile. So.
Okay.
It's your choice, it's your enrollment.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, good.
Hey, thanks for the product. It's been huge for us in our institution. Do you have a feeling for which workflow in the setup assistant space versus at login window is going to be more, I don't know, approved by Apple? Probably not. Your answer is neither. But is there a safer place to be running in setup assistant space versus at login window?
Did you know that you already can do this with automated device enrollment? And that the feedback is horrible. Because what are we doing in the pre-stage? We upload a package, Setup Manager, lightweighted, because that information what Apple is providing to us is like install enterprise application command. I can also upload Office. I can also upload Adobe. And you can see the same command, but you don't have any visuals. So if that is the same process on iOS or iPadOS, where you can literally do the awaiting state, that we are waiting on something before it got finalized, and then it's on the device, that's already is possible on the Mac. So if it's going to be safer, I don't know. I would highly suggest turn a network relay on with device as a station to make sure that the connection to the business is secured before the installation will happen. That can be an option for the ADE enrollment. So I don't have a proper answer for you what is safer, but yeah. I think Rob is answering the question there.
Yeah, so another question on the single touch. How does the user enter his password once he gets the device? That's kind of the part that's mysterious to me.
With the keyboard?
No, not that. But
Sorry, so bad joke.
no, it's fine.
Oh, sorry, yeah, for the example.
So
oh, yeah,
this
yeah.
requires Jamf Connect then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry about that. There is a way for Jamf Connect, if you have the information, in the customized enrollment, you can checkbox that you can fix that, how do you say that? That screen, so the user don't have to fill in the username anymore. We cannot do anything with the password because the password is not getting out of the SSO of the token from the web authentication. That's not in there. But we can do auto advance on the naming convention, and that's a checkbox in the SSO enrollment customization. Thank you, Mark. So sorry. There's so many logins where you can type with your keyboard, but it was a fun. But that's why I also showed the platform SSO, because I do authentication, and IT steps away, and then the machine is registered in platform SSO, and then the user registration is another thing. So it has nothing to do with IT anymore. That's why we love platform SSO as well, because it's compatible. It's always sweaty for us, like is Apple going to change something in the setup assistant that we are not compatible anymore, but because it's, I like Setup Manager.
Okay. Thanks.
Yep.
Hi. Oh, sorry. Hi. I had a question in regards to how Jamf Setup Manager could handle Jamf App Catalog apps or VPP apps. When I've tested it a bit, if you have any of those kind of enabled to all computers when you're testing it, it'll kind of freeze and wait for those to finish installing before it pops up the UI of like, we're actually working to install X, Y, and Z apps. So I've just kind of excluded them to the after Jamf Setup Manager completes trigger for now. But I was wondering if you had plans to something that could kind of capture that into the process.
You know what the problem is? That process is the MDM process. But I have a solution for you, because you can do an awaiting state. That's a terrible experience. But if this is kind of funny, if the Jamf App Catalog app is in Installermeter, I will always install it with Installermeter, and then the app catalog will keep it up to date. Right? So you have more control, more visibles and everything. Because the MDM install enterprise command, application enterprise command, we don't have it, not visuals from Apple. That's,
Okay, so that's how we've been doing it right now. I just wanted to.
Yeah, no, that would be my best practice as well.
Okay, thank you.
All good.
Any other questions? Oh, go for it.
Any plans to support videos or animations in the background of Setup Manager?
For what reason do you want to have a video?
Just enhanced user experience?
For what purpose? I want to understand, because I'm the UI designer and Armin hates me for that. Right, Rob? Yep. No, I think if it comes to user experience and guiding the users to inform the user with videos, that's what we have the next application we're going to build is more about, hey, you're on the desktop, you can set up your wallpaper. Did you know that with this company, you can go to this info website to have information? And there is the video making more sense for me. I understand that, what was it, Splash Body or Octory, that has during the enrollment that you can play in game. I know that Mike Voss or Sender Scratch literally make that during enrollment that the end user can play in game. It's nice, but no, not for Setup Manager. They already have that.
Thank you.
Okay, all good.
All right. I think we're pretty good here.
Yeah.
Mischa, after this, if anyone has any other questions, where should they reach out to find you?
I'm at the expo. Look me up. And oh, by the way, this presentation, oh, I totally forgot it. I had a co-presenter, but he needed to bail out for family things. And that was Fraser. And Fraser also does a brain session now, tomorrow. So he also has a lot of questions. He can answer also a lot of questions because he also documented a lot. But I'm around the expo booth and I'm happy to talk with you. So thank you.
Thanks, everyone.